Hello everyone, my name is Holly and today we will be doing an online discussion on what you do if. So presented with certain scenarios and talk about what would you do if. David, how are you today?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good. And Alexander, welcome back.
Hello again.
So how long did you live in Rovaniemi, what you were talking about in the last class?
For 3 weeks. For 3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks. Okay, so it was a short-term opportunity, but still.
Yes, but
Uh-huh.
at that time for me it was a huge time.
Oh, I bet. I bet it was a chance of a lifetime. So, a question:
Yeah.
did you like the Finnish food, or did you find it boring?
Actually, I tasted not so much, but what I tasted, I liked, and the meat of deer. Did you
Uh-huh.
try that?
Um,
Yes,
yeah.
I was so excited
You
about that.
mean reindeer or deer?
A reindeer?
Yeah. Do you know the difference?
Um, no.
Oh, okay. Show you real quick. Reindeer is the reindeer meat would be the reindeer are basically found in that part of the world. Bear with me a moment. Um, it's found in that part of the world, and they're usually thought of as the deer that Santa Claus had.
Oh, okay.
Um, of course, but this is reindeer right here. But then you have
Ah,
okay. Then you have, of course, just regular deer meat, and which was right here, just regular deer, and this is like Bambi, for example, if you know that
okay.
movie.
So yeah, I was talking
Yeah.
about then reindeer.
You were talking about reindeer. Okay. Yeah, I had it a little bit. I grew up on this kind of meat where I'm from. This is the type of meat that
Did
we.
you like that?
Uh-huh. I grew up on it. It's tougher than regular beef, but the reindeer meat I don't remember actually eating. But I know
Yes,
I
it's pretty
did at
pretty
once.
tough.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Holly. How are you today?
Well, okay.
You're
I'm
better.
trying to be okay. So, not really. Actually, I took a turn for the worse yesterday. Actually, I got a lot worse, and then I've been I wondered all day should I teach, and then I've decided I was just gonna go
Sorry.
through it, and I'm doing okay. So, but yeah,
I
um,
hope you'll
I
be
should be.
better soon.
Me too, because not yesterday, tomorrow will be 7 days. So, um, so
Quite a
that's
long
when,
time.
yeah, that's when cold should be over in 7 days. So, and hello, Carlos.
Hello.
Thank you,
How are you?
Alexander. Oh, pretty good. Trying to be at least. And Adela, welcome back. And Jose, welcome back.
Nice
Hello,
to see
Holly.
you again.
Nice to see you again.
Hello. Yeah, so we have, see, Adela from Spain, Alexander from Russia, Carlos from
Spain.
Spain. Okay, you're the Carlos from Spain. Okay, in a few more hours there'll be a Carlos from Colombia as well. So David from Spain, Jonathan from Colombia, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, and then Jose from Spain. So mostly Spain during this hour, it looks like. So, but we have Russia and Colombia as well. So, what would you do if? Okay, so let's start. Let's start this. This class again is. I'm going to quickly go over uh, um, some conditionals. We've got the first, the second, and the third conditional. The first one is it is possible. I like to say it's 100% or more, or 98%. Second, the condition is in theory. And the third conditional, either it's too late or it's not possible to fulfill. Let's give some examples. So in the first conditional where it's possible, you'll use the will. So if I were rich, I will, da 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 da. The second conditional, you would use the simple past, I would plus the infinitive. And the third conditional, you would use the past perfect. This is when it's too late. I would have done this. So let's go on. So if I study, I will pass the exam. That's the first conditional. Second conditional, if I studied, I would pass the exam. Third conditional, if I had studied, I would have passed the exam. Again, I will pass the exam if I study. I would pass the exam if I studied. I would have passed the exam if I had studied. So these are some examples. And these are examples with using the short forms. If I study, I'll pass. I won't fail. If I study, I will. So this is the long form. If I study, I will pass the exam. If I study, I'll pass the exam. Oh, more people are showing up. Hello.
Hello.
If I study, I will not fail the exam. Hello, Adrian. And hello, Miguel. Welcome. Miguel, where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
You're from some. And Adrian, welcome. Can you speak, Adrian?
Hi. Hi, Holly.
Hi.
I'm fine.
Fine. All right. So if I study, I will not fail the exam. The short contracted forms, if I study, I won't fail the exam. For this line, just to save my voice, Adela, could you read this line right here?
Yes. If I do not study, I will fail the exam.
Okay. And
If I don't study, I'll fail the exam.
Okay, perfect. And the next one for positive, Adrian, could you read this line?
Yeah. If I studied, I would pass the exam.
The next one?
If I studied, I'd pass the exam.
So if I studied, I'd pass the exam. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. And the next one, Alexander, could you read the first line here?
If I studied, I would not fail the exam.
Okay. And the contracted form?
And if I studied, I wouldn't fail the exam.
Okay. And then Carlos, could you read the line?
Yes, of course. If I did not study, I will fail the exam.
Okay, next one.
If I didn't study, I'd fail the exam.
So I'd fail the exam. This is kind of a hard one to actually sound out to use. Okay, next one. David, could you read this one? For this is in the third conditional, so it's either not possible or the time has passed.
Okay, if I had studied, I would have passed the exam.
Okay, now with the contracted forms?
If I'd studied, I'd have passed the exam.
Very good. I like the way you did this. What you did was you kind of stressed it. I'd. Very good. All right, Jonathan, could you read the next one?
Sure. If I had studied, sorry, I got lost. What was it? The last one.
The second to the last one.
Yes. If I had studied, I would not have failed the exam.
Okay, the contracted.
If I had studied, I wouldn't have failed the exam.
Okay. All right. And the next one, Jose, could you read that one?
Okay. If I had not studied, I would have failed the exam. If I hadn't studied, I'd have failed the exam.
Yes. Bear with me. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, are any questions here? Are there any questions here? So the first conditional is if it's very likely to happen. So I would say 90% or above. Second conditional is if it's possible. It's very well possible could happen. And the third conditional is something could not happen, it will never happen, or the time has already passed. Any questions here? I know you guys have studied this for many years. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice. All right, so what would you do if you were rich? So Miguel, tell us, what would you do if you were rich? So if I was rich, or if I were rich, I would, or I will.
Okay. If I were rich, I will buy a boat, for
I will buy a
example.
boat. Okay, so that's possible for you to be rich. What kind of boat will you buy?
I don't know. I don't know much about boat, but the typical boat that you watch in films. I don't know.
So like a yacht or a sailboat or
Yeah,
a
yeah,
houseboat?
like jet, jet, yes.
Yacht. Okay, so a yacht that you can live on and so forth. And
Yeah.
that's let me spell it. I'll put it on the verbally chat until I run out of room on there. Awesome. Okay. And would you sell this would you have a captain take care of it, or would you do it yourself, drive it yourself?
I would like to do for myself.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Adela, how about you? What would you do if you were rich?
If I were rich, I would donate a part for a research or an NGO, and maybe I would like travel around the world.
Oh, you would travel around the world?
Yes.
Yeah. Where are what are the highlights of where you would go?
New Zealand
Mm-hmm.
and another country, but it's an area I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Australia, etc.
Mm-hmm. So New Zealand and
Japan, yes.
mm-hmm. New Zealand, Australia.
Yes,
Okay.
there are interesting places to visit.
Okay. So you would start out maybe in New Zealand and go from there. So, all right.
I hope if I don't know if I don't reach, I go to
Okay.
not a hypothetical.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. So, all right. Jose, how about you? What would you do if you were rich?
I will like to buy a new flat, or I would like to travel to abroad. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I would like to travel to United States or to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Okay.
things
So
like that.
you would travel as much as possible.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. And so would you try to go everywhere? Is there one specific country you would go to first?
Uh, United States. United States.
United States. Okay.
Yes.
Where in the US?
US. I think it's
Right.
the first power of the world.
Okay. So would you go to the like Washington D.C. or would you
Yes,
go
New
to
York. I would like to
Hollywood?
go to New York.
Uh-huh. Okay. Awesome. All right. And Adrian, how about you? If you were rich, what would you do if you were rich?
Okay, if I were rich, think first of all, I would invest in real estate to to can live um, from from this, and then I would travel around the world. Um, I, the first destination uh, will be will be USA and Asia. I don't know. Actually,
All right. Thank you. So you would travel specifically. You would want to travel around the world. Specifically, you would have started in the USA and then go to Asia.
yeah.
Awesome. Where in the USA would you want to start? Would you want to go to California,
Uh,
Florida, New
yeah.
York?
Um, I would like to start in New York, and then I would like to visit San Francisco.
Ah, okay. So one side and then the other side. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Jonathan, how about you? What would you do if you were rich?
I think I would travel to a country that speak English to learn it, and
Uh-huh.
I would make my own company just for the satisfaction of doing that, not for the money.
Ah, okay.
Yes, and I will, if I were rich, I will help poor people.
Uh-huh. Like Adela.
Yes,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
will focus in children.
Uh-huh. So you would focus on children. So
Yes.
the word is focus would always be on. Focus on children. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. You're welcome. Um, so I have heard from a friend of mine that the best place to start a company, the easiest place to start a company, is the United States. And if you can be successful in the U.S., you can be successful. If you can't be successful in the U.S., you can't be successful anywhere because it's very easy here. So yeah. So what kind of company would you start, Jonathan?
I would start a company based on technology, maybe an application, a
Uh
mobile
huh.
application.
Uh huh.
And why
Awesome.
did your friend say that it is easier to make a company there in the United States?
Well, he's originally from India, and he just said that the bureaucracy is much easier to handle here, and so he had told me that the U.S. was much easier, I guess, based on his experience. He lived in the States for about 17 or 18 years before he went back to India, and at the time I had started a company while I was living in Finland, and so he was telling me, and there is a lot more bureaucracy. um, there was a lot more bureaucracy with that company I had there than the one I have here. So
Oh,
um,
okay, I understand.
yeah. So all right, Alexandra, how about you? um, what would you do if you were rich?
Actually, if I were rich, I first of all, I'd try to maintain my budget.
Uh-huh.
And that's why I'd run some business in Hong Kong or in Singapore. And the second thing that I try to do is to travel around the world, or I'd I try to travel to the space.
Try to travel. Oh, travel. Okay, so you would buy
Try
a
to
ticket.
visit the space.
So you would buy a ticket to the space station
Maybe I'd make myself one of
available.
the spaceship. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is it? Or is it Virgin Airlines that has set up this Virgin space thing or something like that? They're trying to go to the moon or to Mars or somewhere. So
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, well, if you are rich, you have the money to do that. Awesome. So, David, how about you? What would you do if you were rich?
If I were rich, first of all, I would do nothing for a period of time. I think
Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
2 or
Uh-huh.
3 or 5, 6, I don't know, months, and then I would learn to do many things. I think
Uh-huh.
I'd like to learn how to play many musical instruments. I'd like to practice my English and learn another languages.
Uh-huh.
And I'd like to drive every machine that you can go on,
Mm-hmm.
boats, planes, copters, um, horse,
Spaceships.
spaceships, for example, everything. But really, I'd like to spend all my time learning new things every day.
Uh-huh. Okay. Lifetime learning. Awesome. Okay. And Anna Carolina, how about you? What would you do if you were rich?
If I were rich, rich, I would quit my job
Uh-huh.
to enjoy my life. I would travel around the world. I would splash out money
Uh-huh.
by buying a lot of dresses from famous brands, a bunch of shoes from famous brands, also perfumes, makeup, everything. And I would open a foundation to help people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's good. It's good because we can avoid paying taxes. You help
Mm-hmm.
the people and also you avoid paying taxes. Um,
Avoid paying taxes? How would you do that?
because from a foundation, the government uh, the government to this here in Brazil, you just have to pay taxes. Some
Ah, okay.
famous people
You
have foundations in
uh-huh.
order to avoid paying high taxes.
Taxes. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I
Yeah, I
would
know in
buy a
uh-huh.
helicopter.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah, as far as avoiding
some
paying
nations,
taxes. Uh-huh. Go
some
ahead.
nations, some
Uh-huh.
nations is present the whole world.
What did you say? Summations?
Nations. This I
Mansions.
mispronounce.
Okay. You would have mansions around the world.
Yes, a castle,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
a castle.
Awesome. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Well, if I were rich, okay.
Oh,
If
uh-huh.
we if we had to dream, let's dream here. Why not? Right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. David has a question for you.
Yes, to both. I would kill two birds with just one stone. Why not?
Mm-hmm. So the foundation would be for both saving on taxes and also helping people.
Yes, all foundations have the same purpose, proposal,
Purpose. Okay.
purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, purpose.
Purpose. Okay. Excellent. All right, Carlos, how about you? What would you do if you were rich?
Well, if I were rich, I will travel around the world, and also I will buy a luxury car, and also have people with problems.
Okay, what kind of luxury car would you buy?
As for example, Ferrari or Bentley. I like it.
Okay, a Ferrari or ballet?
Yes. For example, if I
Ferrari,
will
okay.
Ferrari, if I will travel around the world, for
Uh-huh.
example, I want to visit the United States and also China.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. And but what was the second one? You said a Ferrari and a ballet?
Yes.
What is that?
Could you repeat, please?
A Bentley?
Bentley, yes, it's a luxury car.
Uh-huh.
It's a European car, sadly in United Kingdom, in country.
Okay. I think David wrote it down. Okay. Bentley is what we say.
Bentley. Yes.
Bentley. Okay. Thank you, David. All right. So let's go on to the next one. Um, um, what would you do if you were told you had one day to live? So let's start with Jonathan. What would you do if you were told you had one day to live?
I think if I were in my job at the time that person told me that I am going to live just until today, I will come to my home and I would start to say goodbye to everyone. To
Uh-huh.
be mentally prepared to die, I think. I don't know what else would I
Uh-huh.
do. I
Just
would also give my bank accounts to my family and all the money that I maybe would have saved in some place, or I don't know.
mhm. Yeah, so um you would say get your affairs
Y-
in order in English. Is I've got this on the Verbling chat.
Yes,
So you would get your affairs in order. Okay?
yes, thank you.
Awesome. And Alexander, how about you? What would you do if you were told you had one day to live?
Um, it's kind of a difficult question to answer without thinking. If I had one day to live, I'd try to spend this day having fun. That I'd try to do things that I've never tried. No, just I don't know. I'd I tried to invent um, the pills to live more.
You would work on making sure that you had the medicine so you don't die.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, thank you. Carlos, how about you? What would you do if you were told you had one day to live?
Whoa, it's a difficult question. I don't know, but I think I will go out to my job and I meet my friends and my family, and I sure that I ride my motorbike and
Uh-huh.
go to the circuit to race.
Uh-huh. Okay, so you would race your motorbike.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
exactly.
And which is your obviously it is your motorbike your passion?
Yes, I
Uh-huh.
like the cars. The motorbike is my passion and my profession cruelty.
Okay, thank you. And Adela, how about you? What would you do if you were told you had one day to live?
Maybe to spend my time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe it was the last time we uh, can start to talk, to enjoy with them. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Okay, so basically spend as much time with your family as you
Yes.
can. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you. And Miguel, how about you? What would you do if you were told you had one day to live?
Okay, if if I were my last day on the earth, for example, I will make a barbecue or something like that on the beach, for example, with my
Uh,
friends
uh-huh.
and with my family.
Uh-huh. Okay. So you would go party basically and have a barbecue with friends and family.
Yeah, have
Awesome.
fun, basically.
Uh-huh. Awesome. Thank you. And Anna Carolina, how about you? What would you do if you were told you only had one day to live?
Okay, first of all, I would send an email to everyone that I know, or
Uh-huh.
make a phone call or something like that, to ensure that everyone would go to my funeral, or
Uh-huh.
at least think of me,
Uh-huh.
or cry, or something like that. Then I would do something very crazy, such as skydiving,
Ah,
something very
bungee
emotional.
jumping.
Yes, something that would give me a burst of adrenaline or
Uh-huh.
make me happy. I would
Uh-huh.
binge on chocolate a
Uh-huh.
lot, and I also would call up a priest, a priest, to make sure that I would go to heaven.
Uh-huh. Okay. You remind me of my grandmother when she was told that she had 6 months to live. At that time, she started drinking whole milk, red meat. She started smoking as much as she possibly could. She said, I'm just going to start doing stuff that I've not done in order to stay healthy. And so she said, I'm going to enjoy the last 6 months of my life. So it was pretty funny. That was back 20 years ago, though. All right, David, how about you? What would you do if you were told you had one day to live?
And probably I wouldn't believe it, and I would continue with my life, uh, because I think
Okay.
if I hear about this kind of news, uh, I I think I wouldn't believe it, and it's a short period of time to do anything, and I think it would be better not to believe it and continue with my life.
Do you think you would be able to not to think in that you are going to die that day?
I don't know, really, I don't know, but I don't know how to tell my children, for example, or my wife that I am going to die tomorrow. And I think uh, I would prefer to not believe it, I think.
So you would just choose to not believe what you were told and go on because one day. What can you guys think of the? There was a viral article about a lady who had 1 week to live or something like that, or 1 month, and so she planned an elaborate wedding and married her sweetheart. And then 6 months later, she was still alive, or a year later, she was still alive. So, bye, Adela. Thanks. Thanks for coming. So, and Adrian, how about you? Yeah, what would you do if you were told you had one day to live?
Okay. If I had 1 day to live, I think I I would I would be with my family, my friends. Um, mm, Mainly, I will remember the the good times, and I would tell them um, all the good feelings that
Mm-hmm.
I have,
Uh-huh.
I feel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you tell them how you felt.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank you. And Jose, how about you? What would you do if you were told you had one day to
Okay,
live?
it is a tricky question, but I think I would like to spend all day with my family. After that, I'll dismiss from everyone, and I'll try to think about dying. I think that at this moment I don't feel prepared to think about the die.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so you would just try to prepare for the next step.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Thank you, Jose. All right. Now let's go into another one. So what would you do? What would you do if you were the principal of your school? Now keep in mind, think of, I know you're all adults, so think of your high school. And so what we'd have to do is change this to the past to the third conditional, right? So what would you have done if you would have been principal of your school? So I would have, all right. So let's start with Carlos. How about you? If you
Yes,
would have been principal of your school, what would you have done?
yes. Could you, sorry, what's mean the principal of your school?
The principal is the headmaster. Is
Like the manager of the school?
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
he's the head person. He hires and fires the teachers. If you
Ah,
as a student, if they get in trouble,
okay.
another word would be a head teacher as well. If a student gets in trouble, the teacher will send the student to the principal.
Wow. It's third conditional, no?
Yeah, third condition. It would have been third conditional. Yeah.
Uh, mm, if uh,
So that's a
uh,
present perfect.
present perfect would have
But
been, no?
will have been, yeah.
Okay. If I were the principal of my school, I would have been more days of vacancy for uh, my alums.
So I would have been what? Say that again.
Yes, if I were the principal of my school, I
Uh-huh.
will have been more days of vacancies to my students.
Uh-huh. So you would have paid more attention? Is that what you said?
Okay, do you want to repeat?
Yeah, because I don't understand. You would have paid more attention to the vacancies?
Yes.
I think
Okay.
he's trying to say more holiday days, I think.
Yes, it does. It does. I want
Okay, I
to.
would have given more vacation days.
Yes, vacation days. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
more vacation or days or holidays. Okay, I would have given more vacation days. Okay, that's an interesting way to say that. Why would you have given more vacation days?
For example, for the children can to have more days to spend their times with their families or they doing something like more sports or other things, for example.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right, thank you. And Jonathan, how about you? What
If
would you have done if you would have been principal of your school?
if I were the principal of my school, in the school where I studied, I would have given prizes to the best students and to the best teachers, so in order to improve the educational system. And I
Ah,
also would have been in some I would have been randomly in some classes to see how the teachers were teaching the students.
uh-huh,
I think I would have been focused in how to improve the the educational the education that the students were receiving.
uh-huh. So either I think I would have focused on the education the students were seeking, or I would
Yes,
have been focusing on. So would have been focusing. Um, that's good. Very good answer, Jonathan.
thank
Um,
you.
thank you. And then Alexander, how about you? What would you have done?
If I had been a principal of school, I I'd have I'd have given to or just my students.
You would have
Okay,
given what to your
I,
students?
I would have I'd have given my students more practical lessons, and
Uh-huh.
the reason why I think because now they have a lack of practice, and I would have um,
Uh-huh.
um, how to say mm, uh, persuaded them to do more practice.
Uh-huh. So more practical instead of theoretical. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Which helps a lot of students, I think. Excellent, thank you. All right, and hello, Amado. Welcome.
Hey, how are you? Thank you very much.
Nice to see you. So, question for you: thinking back to your high school days, what would you have done if you would have been principal of your school?
Okay, uh, if I were the principal of my school, I would have been developed a lot of facilities, especially leisure facilities for entertainment, because
Uh-huh.
kids, when they feel like the school is another house, for
Mhm.
them they will get enjoy it and they will get more benefit from school. So
Uh-huh.
the more facilities available in the school, the more kids are happy and they are optimistic and
Mhm.
exciting. And when we make that atmosphere like this, we will get more benefit from in educational way.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because if you're having fun, you'll learn a little.
Yeah.
Um, exactly. Thank you. And Jose, since you're a teacher, maybe one day
Yes.
you want to be principal of your school. So you can actually do this in the first or the second conditional if you want.
Yes.
It's up to you. But so what would you do if you were principal of your school?
Yes. I would have tried to 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 establish appraisal systems in order to have a feedback about the education quality.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So feedback so that the
Yes.
teachers know what they're doing
Okay.
wrong. Yeah.
The teacher and the students.
And the students,
Uh,
both
yes.
sides. Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh. And would you like to see that now in the school you're teaching at?
uh, no,
No?
I never have seen I never have seen appraisals in my school, but I think it could be a good idea to
Uh-huh.
have feedback from the students and from the teachers.
Uh-huh. Excellent. Thank you. All right. And Miguel, how about you? What would you have done if you would have been principal of your school?
Well, if I had been the principal of my school, I would have helped to my students to get good jobs in order to get experience, and then probably they get a great experience in that company and get better and better jobs.
Uh-huh. All right. All right. Thank you very much. All right. And Adrian, how about you? What would you have done if you would have been principal of your school?
Um, if I had been the principal of my school, I would have tried to integrate the the teacher and the the teacher and the guys and to 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 improve the 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 methodology of
Uh-huh.
the learning, and uh, I um, I will have changed the way to to to
Uh-huh.
to the way of the learning.
Uh-huh. Okay. So would you have concentrated more on how students learn instead of how it's always been taught? So
Um,
maybe making it more
uh,
practical?
more practical, more realistic,
Uh-huh.
um, and more flexible.
Uh-huh.
Uh, yeah, more possible that the the guy can you select uh, your own learning
Mm-hmm.
into uh, 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 a framework.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you. Very good.
Yeah.
David, how about you? How about what would you have done if you would have been principal of your school?
if I had been principal of my school, I would have fired some teachers, I think, and I would have spent more time attending classes to check the way teachers work. Because I can remember the principal of my school always in his office, and I think really he didn't realize how teachers make their job, I think.
So he wasn't really watching what they were actually doing.
Yes.
So, all right, thank you. And Anna Carolina, how about you? What would you do if you would have been? What would you have done if you would have been principal of your school?
If I were the principal of my school, I would avoid having teachers surrounded by bias and prejudice. I would be impartial. I would have a channel to talk to the students, to listen to them, because sometimes teachers complain a lot about a student, and they label the students, and sometimes it's not fair. It's just because they talk to each other at the teacher's room, and they convince each other that the students have problems and things like that, have issues, and then they are more likely to send complaints for little things. I would set up a curriculum, a very nice, and I would try to motivate the students to think instead of just memorize things. I would set up a bunch of elective subjects, extracurriculum activities, and I would try to make the parents engaging at their children's school.
Excellent.
And things like that.
Those are some good answers. So make the parents. How do you make the parents engage with the student class school? So
I would set up some meetings to tell them, to convince them that it would be effective. With their participation, they would do much better, and I would have a channel to communicate with them and the children. You know, I in my opinion, the principals have to be impartial, you know, because they tend to listen to the teachers'
point of view.
Just the teachers, you know, and sometimes they are unfair, they have bias, prejudice.
Right. Thank you.
And it can lead to problems.
All right. Does anybody else have anything to say about this topic? Anything else? Okay, let's go to another one. Not everybody's going to get a chance to speak because we just have a little bit more time, just a little bit of time. So what would you do if you won the lottery? So David, talk to us.
If I won the lottery, I think I will do exactly the same things that I told you in the first topic, I think.
Yeah. If you were rich, okay. I know it seems like both of those are very similar. So if you were rich, would anybody do anything differently if you won the lottery versus if you were rich?
I would do.
Talk to us, Alexander.
So if I won the lottery, I'd make my plans about let's see. I'll come my dream true. Is it correct?
I would make my dream come true.
Yes, I would make my dream come true, and my dream is to enter the university. in Asia, and
Ah,
and the tuition in those universities is very pricey, is very expensive, and that's why I'd have enough money to pay for the studying there.
the tuition.
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 Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. And Amado, you weren't here in the beginning when we asked that our first question. So how about you? What would you do if you won the lottery?
If I had if I have won the lottery, I would divide it to the two parts actually. The first one, I'm gonna publish or founded a new organization for charity, especially for kids, orphaned kids educations.
Mm-hmm.
So the another part, I would, ensure my future financially, make a good investment to guarantee my future life in a financial way. But
Okay.
teacher, if I can ask a question, what
Yeah.
I don't know grammatically, what's the answer would be for this kind of question? Is this conditional question?
For this one would probably be a second conditional, which would be, if I won the lottery, I would, and the reason is because it's possible. Now, if it's if it's most likely going to happen, you would say I will. So, but for this one, it could be possible. It could happen. Maybe it might. So I would. Now, the third conditional, which is what we were doing with the last one, is something that is either not possible or has passed. So that's why we said we would have. So for this one, you would say, if I won the lottery, no, if I won the lottery, I would travel around the world, or I would invest the money for the future. So, all right. Oh yes, and Anna Carolina, I love what you just wrote. Can you tell everybody?
I was just kidding.
I know but it's wonderful. So she wrote,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, guys. So please remember us.
Remember us
Okay.
if you win the
Yes.
lottery. Remember us. At least
Yes.
Anna Carolina and Holly.
Don't worry.
Please, by sending an amount by mail for
Yes.
everyone. Okay.
Yeah. PayPal works too. So.
Well,
All right.
if you were 4 millions, at least uh, 500 for any, no, 250 for each one.
Yes, that would work.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Thank you,
that's
everyone.
fair.
Deal?
It looks
Okay.
like we're out of time, everyone. I want to thank you for your participation.
Okay.
And
Take
I'll
care.
see you all later. Thank you all.
Thank
Bye.
See
you.
you, Holly.
Bye.
I thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.